Another day, another story. The sealing of Magna Carta occurred on June 15, 1215. It was a significant event in English history and is often considered a foundational document for constitutional law. Here's an overview of the sealing of Magna Carta and its historical significance. Welcome to Tabot Eminent Channel. Background. Magna Carta, which means Great Charter in Latin, was a document that aimed to limit the powers of the English monarch and protect the rights and privileges of certain individuals, particularly the nobility. The barons of England, who were dissatisfied with the rule of King John, forced him to agree to the terms of the charter. The sealing of Magna Carta. The sealing of Magna Carta took place at Runnymede, a meadow along the River Thames in England, on June 15, 1215. It was not a signing in the modern sense but rather a process of affixing seals to the document to signify the agreement of the parties involved. King John, under pressure from the barons, attached his royal seal to the Magna Carta. Content and provisions. Magna Carta consisted of a series of clauses that addressed various grievances and outlined specific rights and protections. Some of the key provisions included: 1. Protection of the Church's rights and privileges. 2. Limitations on the arbitrary taxation by the king. 3. Safeguards against unlawful imprisonment. 4. Right to a fair trial by one's peers. 5. Establishment of the principle that no free man could be punished except through the lawful judgment of his equals or the law of the land. The Barons' Pledge. Once upon a time in medieval England, a group of noble barons gathered in the tranquil meadow of Runnymede. Their purpose was to confront King John, a ruler known for his despotic ways and disregard for the rights of his subjects. The air crackled with tension as the barons prepared to make a stand against the tyrant king. Among the assembled barons was Sir Richard, a courageous and principled knight who had seen firsthand the injustices inflicted upon the people. Sir Richard was driven by a strong sense of justice and yearned for a fairer society. He believed that the king's power needed to be curtailed, and the rights of the people protected. As the negotiations unfolded, Sir Richard found himself at the forefront, voicing the demands of the barons and articulating the grievances of the people. His words resonated with the others, and a sense of unity grew within their ranks. They knew that they had to stand united against King John's oppressive rule. Late into the evening, as the sun began to set, an agreement was finally reached. The terms of the Great Charter, later known as Magna Carta, were painstakingly drafted, embodying the hopes and aspirations of the barons. Sir Richard's words had helped shape the very essence of this historic document. When the moment came to affix their seals to the Magna Carta, Sir Richard's heart swelled with a mixture of anticipation and trepidation. He knew that the path ahead would not be easy, for the king was not one to relinquish power willingly. However, he believed in the power of this charter to inspire change and set a precedent for generations to come. As Sir Richard pressed his seal onto the parchment, he couldn't help but feel a surge of hope. He envisioned a future where justice and fairness would prevail, where the rights of the people would be respected, and where no ruler would be above the law. The sealing of Magna Carta was not just a moment in history. It was the beginning of a journey towards a more just society. Years later, as Magna Carta's influence spread, Sir Richard's vision began to take shape. The principles enshrined in the Charter became the bedrock of English law and influenced legal systems around the world. Sir Richard's bravery and unwavering commitment to justice would be remembered as a crucial turning point in the struggle for freedom and the rule of law. The Forgotten Baron. In the year 1215, amidst the scenic meadows of Runnymede, a lesser-known baron named Sir Thomas found himself standing among the more prominent nobles gathered to confront King John. Unlike the others, Sir Thomas was not driven by ambitions of power or prestige. Instead, he sought a life of peace and tranquility, far removed from the political intrigues of the realm. As negotiations unfolded, Sir Thomas observed the heated exchanges between the barons and the king. While sympathetic to their cause, he couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. The demands of the barons seemed just, but the path to achieving their goals appeared fraught with uncertainty and danger. As the discussions progressed, Sir Thomas found solace in the company of Eleanor, a kind and wise lady-in-waiting attending to one of the noblewomen present. Eleanor had a keen understanding of the plight of the common people, and her insights resonated deeply with Sir Thomas. One evening, as the sun began to set, Sir Thomas sought a moment of respite near the riverbank. He found himself gazing at the serene waters, pondering the implications of the Baron's demands and the potential consequences of their actions. Sensing his turmoil, she offered words of wisdom, reminding him of the power that lay in the unity of purpose. She spoke of the transformative potential of the Magna Carta, emphasizing how it could pave the way for a more just society where the rights of all were protected. Inspired by Eleanor's words, Sir Thomas discovered a newfound resolve. He realized that even the quietest voice could have an impact, and the strength of his conviction outweighed his fear. As the barons prepared to affix their seals to the Magna Carta, Sir Thomas stepped forward. Though his name may not be remembered in the annals of history like the others, his commitment to justice burned just as brightly. In the years that followed, as Magna Carta's influence spread, Sir Thomas continued his quiet life in the countryside, far from the courts and politics. Centuries later, historians would rediscover Sir Thomas's name and the significance of his contribution. His story would be resurrected, reminding the world that even those who fade into obscurity can leave an indelible mark on history. Sir Thomas, the forgotten baron, would become a symbol of the silent heroes whose unwavering belief in justice can change the course of nations and inspire generations to come. Historical significance. The sealing of Magna Carta marked a pivotal moment in English history. While it was initially a peace treaty between King John and his barons, it ultimately became a symbol of broader principles and established the concept of the rule of law. Although the original version of Magna Carta was annulled shortly after its sealing, subsequent versions were issued in the following years. Its influence grew over time, and it became an important reference point for the development of constitutional law, including the English Bill of Rights in 1689 and the United States Constitution in 1787. Magna Carta has since become an enduring symbol of liberty, justice, and the protection of individual rights. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel.